Hi everyone. Uh, this is a demo about just-in-time privileged access management. So a lot of time when I speak to customers, they need a way for which, using which they can grant anybody in their teams just-in-time access to certain projects with certain roles. They don't want people to have long-lived access, which just creates an opportunity for insider risk. Especially for production environments, this is something which is very invaluable when you don't want everybody or anybody in your teams to have access to these sensitive environments. So this is a high level overview of the setup that I've implemented. I use Slack as the primary interface channel for anybody on this team to request access and for approvers in the security team to approve this access. The backend for this workflow is implemented using cloud functions, and this is how the workflow goes. So you have a person, an admin requester, who raises this request for an access. It uses a slash command, which I'll show you later in a demo. As soon as that command is fired, it triggers a cloud function. That cloud function understands that requests and routes it to a SecOps channel where there is a team of security approvers who are constantly monitoring that channel. As soon as this message goes to the Slack channel, it triggers an alert to a team of security approvers. One of the security approvers goes and looks into the channel, evaluates that request, and takes an approve or reject decision. If they take an approve decision, it goes back to the cloud function, and the cloud function then triggers another cloud function that actually does the provisioning job. It runs a set of APIs that triggers a cloud IAM, creates a cloud IAM policy binding that grants this admin requester based on their username and grants it the role that they have mentioned in their request. If that request is fulfilled successfully, it returns back a successful response to the main admin access cloud function, and it conveys back the result of that request to the admin requester. A similar workflow happens if the security approver takes a reject decision. So it again goes back to the admin access cloud function. But this time, instead of triggering this provision access function, it straight away responds back to the admin requester, conveying back to them that that request was rejected. So let's jump into the demo. I'll show you a couple of tabs. So first is this particular tab, which is a requester. We have a user called as Slack user who will raise this request. And then there is, I'll later show you how this request surfaces in the Slack approver function. So the format for my slash command is uh, I invoke the admin access slash command. I'll first need to provide the name of the project, the unique ID for that project, and I have created a sample KMS project which to which this person is requesting access to. So I take the name of this KMS project, the ID of this KMS project. Uh, that's what I need. Let's go back to the Slack tab. I'll put this as part of the first item is the KMS project ID that I need access to. The second item would be the role that I need access to. So in this case, I want to request access to this particular role called Cloud KMS Importer. I put the role, uh, mention the role in my request, which is cloud kms.importer. Then I need to provide the duration for which I need access to this role for this particular project. Say I give a time duration of say 2 hours and 30 minutes. And this is the format that I put in. The first number is the number of hours that I needed, and the second number is the number of minutes that I needed. I can put in a 0.15 if I need this access only for 15 minutes. And then I give a justification for this access. I can put in something like need to import keys from HSM. So this is the format. In what I also recommend is instead of writing a text-based justification, teams can also provide a link to a Jira ticket or a ServiceNow ticket based on which this access is needed. So it's very convenient for anybody to put in a link which can have a lot more details that justifies the need for this access. So I fire this command. The command will trigger the cloud function and gives me back a confirmation that, hey, Slack user, your access request has been processed, and this access request has been sent to a list of approvers. So you can see here the details of this request is, I need access to this particular project. This is the role that I need access to. This is the duration that I need access to. And this is the justification for my request. I now go back to the tab where I have my approvers who are waiting, and they see this request got fired. A new request has been raised from Slack user. These are the details of this request, as we saw previously. Now, a security approver can take a decision on this request, whether they want to approve the request or whether they want to reject the request. I want to approve this request because I know that this is a valid reason. I know we are trying to import keys from the HSM, and I am okay with granting this particular role for this particular project to this particular user for this particular time frame. So this looks okay to me. I click on approve. It prompts me whether to, again, gives me a chance whether I want to proceed or not. I know I'm okay with this and I click on yes, approved. So this access is being provisioned, and you see a confirmation that came back on Slack saying that this request was approved and executed. So this requester Slack user was granted access to this project for this particular role. This was actioned by me, Pensande. This is my username. So this is the username of the approver who granted this access. So there is an audit trail that is maintained as to who amongst a set of approvers actually granted this access. And this access expires on the 11th of August, which is today, in 2 hours and 30 minutes from now. Let me go back and show you how this looks into the requesters. So the requester got a response back saying that, hey, this access request was approved and executed. It was actioned by Pensande, which was the approver who granted this access, and this is the expiry. So now, as a requester, I see my request has been approved, and I can now go log into this project and do the KMS import job that I wanted to do. Let me go back to the IAM console on cloud and show you how this was provisioned. So this is the IAM console for the KMS project. Because this access has been provisioned recently, if I refresh this page, this access now should reflect on this IAM console. Let me refresh this page, and hopefully you'll see Slack user granted a KMS role. Okay, so there you go. So you see that this principal Slack underscore user has been granted the role of cloud KMS importer on this particular project, which is the KMS project. And you see that there is a condition associated with this access, which shows that this is an expirable access. If I click on this, it shows me that this access would expire 2 hours and 30 minutes. If I go back to the proper view and look at this condition, you can see that this access would expire on uh, just 1 second, at 3:30 p.m. India Standard Time, which is exactly 2 hours 30 minutes from now. So nothing else. I mean, once this time expires, this access would automatically get uh, deprovisioned because the time period would have expired, and hence the conditional access would no longer implement. Just in terms of a follow-up, I wish to implement another set of functions, which is a remove IAM policy, which can just do a cleanup job at the end of every night. So this could be a cron job that is triggered by PubSub. It would trigger a remove IAM policy, and it would trigger a cleanup of all of such accesses at the end of the day that would have been granted and that would have been expired. So yes, that's about it. Thanks. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye.